Hello, everyone. This is again chapter 18, Body Fluids and Circulation. This is video number 4, and this is the last video of this chapter. In this video, I'll be explaining about the lymphatic system. As in the starting only, we said that in humans, there are two circulatory system. One is the blood vascular circulatory system and another is the lymphatic system. So in this video, I'll be explaining about about the lymphatic system, and we will be understanding the different disorders of the circulatory system. So to start with lymphatic system, I don't know. Okay. Uh, this lymphatic system includes lymph vessel, lymph nodes, that is the lymph glands. Now, children, as the blood passes through the capillaries in the tissues, and you know that these capillaries are single layered wall, some of the water and soluble substance are filtered out from the plasma into the intercellular spaces. And this into the tissues or the tissue. This forms the tissue fluid or interstitial fluid. It has the same mineral distribution as that of the plasma. Some tissue fluid enters lymphatic system and the tissue fluid is then called the lymph. You can see the green color vessels, these are the lymphatic system. And what is its function? It drains back to the major vein. It drains back the extra cellular fluid back into the vein. Children, lymph is colorless fluid because it does not have RBC. RBC cannot pass through the capillaries, so it is colorless fluid and it contains lymphocyte, that is a type of WBC you have already studied. Now let us understand what is the function of the lymph. You can say that lymph is a middleman between blood and tissue. So what does a middleman do? Middleman transports the things from one person to another. So this lymph also, or tissue fluid also, helps in exchange of nutrients, gases, etc. between the blood and the cell. It carries plasma proteins synthesized in the liver to the blood. It transports digested fats through the lacteals. Lacteals, you can see over here, this is present in the intestinal villi, and it transports digested fat-soluble vitamins, hormones, etc. Filtration of bacteria and foreign particles takes place, and lymph node produces WBC, a type of WBC known as lymphocytes and antibodies. Now let us discuss about the disorders of circulatory system. The very first common disorder is hypertension or high blood pressure. I think so. In everybody's house, one or the other person is nowadays suffering from high BP. Now, pressure of circulating blood on the walls of the blood vessel is called blood pressure. Normal blood pressure, you all know, is 120 by 80 mm of Hg. 120 mm of Hg, it is the systolic pressure, and or you can say the pumping pressure, and the 80 mm of Hg is the diastolic pressure or the resting pressure. Now, when the blood pressure of any person is higher than the normal blood pressure, that is 120 by 80, you call it as hypertension or high blood pressure. Many times, if it is lower than that, you call it as low blood pressure. If an individual has blood pressure nearly 140 by 90 or above, should always visit a doctor, and because he or she is suffering from hypertension. because continuous, if the blood pressure remains high, then it leads to heart disease, and then it affects our vital organs like brain, kidney, etc. If a person is having high blood pressure, then he should avoid these five foods. They generally increase the blood pressure: salt, meat, alcohol, oil, fish. Then which foods reduce the blood pressure? You can see fruits, you can see kiwi, broccoli, milk, raisins, then rajma, banana, paneer. So nowadays, people are favoring vegetarian diet as well. The second disorder is coronary artery disease or CAT, which is also known as erythrosclerosis. In erythrosclerosis or coronary artery disease, the calcium, fat, or cholesterol and fibrous tissue gets deposited in the coronary artery. What is coronary artery? It is the artery which supplies blood through the muscles of the heart. Now, when these things get deposited in the coronary artery, the lumen of the artery becomes narrow, and then the blood supply to the heart muscles is affected, it becomes less. Then another disorder, that is the angina or angina pectoris. It is in this disorder, there is an acute chest pain, and this acute chest pain is due to oxygen deficiency to the heart muscle. It occurs due to improper blood flow, and it is common among middle-aged people and elderly people. Then we very commonly know about heart failure. Heart failure is also known as congestive heart failure. And what is heart failure? It is the inability of the heart to pump the blood enough to meet the needs of the body. The heart cannot pump blood. Inability of the heart to pump blood. And when the heart cannot pump proper blood, then there is a congestion of lungs. That is the main symptom, and that's why it's known as congestive heart failure. Cardiac arrest. Cardiac arrest, as you see, it's an electrical problem. Cardiac arrest, heart stops beating, and it's fatal. And it leads to death. Heart attack, it is the sudden damage of the heart muscles due to inadequate blood supply. So you have just seen that heart attack is due to inadequate supply of blood muscles. And if we talk about a cardiac arrest, let me show you cardiac arrest. That was, there is some electrical problem, and then heart stops beating. And if heart stops beating, immediate death occurs. And cardiac failure, it is due to inability of the heart to pump blood, and therefore there is congestion in the lungs. So you can understand, you can see, children, that when doctor uses these terms, all heart attacks are not same. Many a times he uses heart failure, or he uses heart attack, or he uses the term cardiac arrest or angina pectoris. They all are different. The symptoms are different. I hope this chapter, all your doubts have been cleared, and I would tell you to rather see the video and then go through the NCRT. Thank you.